Alright, welcome back to another client reading. So for this shadow self reading, we have the Sun with our starting card. Then for our second card, we have the Moon, a lot of major arcana right away. For the third card, we have the Hanged Man, which is a personal favorite of mine. For our fourth card, we have the Page of Swords. Okay, and then for fifth card, we have the Two of Wands. And for the final card of the draw, we have the Ten of Pentacles. So a lot of big cards, and I'll go ahead and throw in a bonus oracle card. And again we have the Crossed, which is crazy because I just pulled this and I shuffled and everything, but it seems to be something a lot of people are dealing with. And I'll break down the reading here in just a moment. So here is the spread all laid out, and for the first question, it is, what am I hiding from myself? And what we got was the Sun card. So the Sun is one of the major arcana, and it is generally a vibrant card meaning vitality, joy, success, optimism, clarity, and authenticity. Now this was a card that I pulled in my last reading, and again, it seems to be a common theme with people just because of the state of the world currently. So the Spirit thinks that you're basically hiding these wonderful things from yourself. You're hiding away from happiness, from being able to be joyful, just being able to live your authentic life. And this could be for a multitude of reasons. For some people, hiding away from happiness is a defense mechanism. It could be part of self-sabotaging behavior learned from trauma, but also it could just be due to the current state of the world and feeling a sense of insecurity. But Spirit seems to think that you're not allowing yourself to essentially be happy, and this is causing some issues. Now, the second question is, how is this shadow causing problems for me? So how is, hiding away from my happiness causing issues for me? And the card that was drawn was the Moon. So the Moon is another major arcana card representing the unconscious, confusion, illusion, and fear. And in the context of what problems you may be suffering due to hiding the Sun from yourself, it's basically saying that you've sunk into the opposite end of the spectrum, feeling like this is your new normal. Because if we're not joyful, then what else can we be? And given the current state of everything going on right now, I think it is very natural for there to be some fear, definitely confusion, and a lot of those negative emotions just in general just swirling about. But just like the light, feelings and emotions are a spectrum. You can acknowledge the fear and still acknowledge joy as well. There's duality and balance in all things, and that is very important to remember. Now, the third part of this reading is, how can I bring the shadow into the light? And the card that was given was the Hanged Man. So as I said, there's a lot of major arcana cards today, which means there's a lot of large and heavy feelings. The Hanged Man is a card that I get a lot when reading for myself, and it represents sacrifice, surrender, faith, initiation, and new perspectives. So when asking how you might bring your shadow to light, the answer seems pretty clear. One must have faith. You must have faith to face your fear. You must have faith that good times can still exist and that they are ahead. Try to shift your way of thinking away from extremes that make it hard to see past the things holding you back. As I said before, life, feelings, emotions, they're all on a spectrum. So take the bad times as a lesson and the good times as times for celebration. And above all else, be patient with yourself and those around you. For the fourth question, it basically proposes or asks, what am I projecting onto others? And this one was really interesting because you received the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is actually a very fun card, representing curiosity, intelligence, honesty, observation, insight, and new perspective. It's hard to read when asking what you may be projecting onto others, but I think that perhaps in the context of the other cards that have been pulled thus far, maybe you're often giving others advice that you yourself do not take. You're encouraging that change in perspective, that insight, that knowledge that you're not giving to yourself. So while you spark in others that curiosity, you're not allowing yourself that joy and wonder as well. You're too bogged down by the negative, so much so that you've kind of become a little stuck. So the next question is, what can I look forward to when illuminating this shadow inside of me? And you got the Two of Wands. Now, wands are very interesting cards, and the Two of Wands represents planning, potential, choice, and yearning. When asking what might become illuminated upon lifting the shadow from yourself, taming your fears, and opening the way for happiness, the message seems clear. This is a card about moving forward. Once you're no longer stuck, you'll be ready for the major decisions that you may be holding back on. You'll awaken to a new yearning for planning something new, bigger, and better in your life. This is a card about opening options. And for your final card in the main draw, we have a message from the universe, and for this message you have the Ten of Pentacles. Your final card, and the card that was given, like I said, the Ten of Pentacles, this card speaks of wealth, completion, family, tradition, and permanence. I think what the universe is saying is that your time to benefit from all your hard work is at hand, and that it is time to really think about where you will be putting down your roots. It's time to find your place and your community in which to settle down, to be secure so that you can appreciate the rest of what your life has to offer. It's time to start passing your knowledge to the young generations, but the passing of your torch will require a well-established foundation first. And, like I said, looking back on the other cards, if you can embrace the spectrum of feelings, to tame the fears, to illuminate yourself, right, and experience your joy, then you will open your way for those major decisions, and those major decisions might have to do with putting your roots down somewhere. So that seems to be all falling into place, and that's what I'm seeing. And then as a bonus, I did include an oracle card, which I thought was crazy, because I shuffled the crap out of this deck, and I ended up getting the Crossed card again. So this card is about choices, searching for purpose, and daydreaming. And so I think right now, again, this reading seemed to be all about like fears and hesitation. I think a lot of people right now are searching for purpose. I think they're questioning what their purpose is. They're kind of looking at themselves and wondering where the magic in their life has gone. They don't know where they're going, what they're doing, and they seem to realize that they've lost a lot of the whimsy that they remember having, especially when they were young. So this seems to be a card reminding you, or telling you to focus on that purpose, to remember what that purpose originally was, to figure out what is driving you, and that you need to learn to live, dream, and be ambitious again, so that you can reach whatever goals at one point you set for yourself. So whereas the Ten of Pentacles basically is saying, start figuring out where to put down your roots, the Crossed card is saying, find your purpose, like reach out, find your drive, go do the thing. So again, take that as you will, but that was just a bonus card asking what you should be focusing on right now, and it states that you really need to remember what your purpose was, what was driving you before, and you need to find that fire again.